Okay, this one will go in beautifully right here. Look at that, look at that.
Good fit.
I have to quilt in one way or another all the time.
When the days are long and warm, you're guaranteed to find Diane and her husband Terry in their extensive gardens creating quilts of a different sort.
It's what I call my summer piecing. It's the same thing as making fabric going together when I put the rocks together, the flowers, the plant material, and we do that together. It's our passion together.
But Diane's passion for piecing together vibrantly colored, mismatched fabrics into whimsical works of art is all her own.
My style is innovative. My style is improvisational. My style has no rules to it. I like to break the rules. What can I say? I like to break the rules. I am both a vision person who may actually sit down and watercolor a mock-up, or I may go on the other direction and start picking up pieces of fabric out of my scrap basket and start putting them together into sort of a collage of things.
Do you see strong red, strong red, strong red? Has a nice element of design. What I do see is a real hole right here. It needs something right in the center. And perhaps I would drop something in, such as this. And you can see the difference is what a red piece would do. It's too strong. It would take your eye away from this. It needs something subtle and yet would tie in your colors.
It's the bold and intuitive use of color that dominates Diane's quilts, winning them a box full of awards.
This quilt is won Best of Show, and if you look at it, you will see a quadrant. Each quadrant has color of the yellow, the red, the green, and the blue, the color wheel.
Though she's been quilting for decades, Diane's fascination with fabric began long ago. She worked as a model during college and later became a couture dress buyer.
And from that, I do believe that good design came. I learned good design. I saw good design. I understood good design.
But quilt making had always been her grandmother's domain. Diane didn't take to it until her grandmother fell ill.
She would be sitting in a rocker. I had to entertain her, and I felt like that would be a good way to entertain her. And I asked her, "Mammy, will you teach me to piece?"
Diane got hooked.
My grandmother made this quilt for me. It is a double wedding ring pattern, very traditional in style, which I love. And very similar to it in style would be the traditional Primula pattern, and this is one I made.
A far cry from her current work, which hangs at exhibitions around the world. This quilt, called Out of Control Curvaceous Shapes, has Diane exploring new territory, curved lines instead of straight.
I love the way the curves are falling together, and I think this might be a new direction.
The inspiration for her fanciful designs does not come from her surroundings on the coast of Maine. Diane's influences are more personal.
My husband is a major influence in my life. I could not quilt without Terry.
And she often doesn't have to.
You know where you want to put that one?
Yes, I do. I want to put it in the hallway, the stairwell.
Good.
While Diane does handwork, Terry needlepoints interpretations of famous quilts. A certified interior designer himself, even he is in awe of his wife's creativity.
There are so many ideas. She could make a quilt today and never finish the gamut of places she wants to go with quilts.
If I flew to the point of sunrise or westward across the sea, your hand would still be guiding me.
For Diane and Terry, faith in God is the ultimate foundation of life and art.
We both look to God to teach us and to lead us and to show us how to create.
In the quiet of her studio, Diane creates intricate pieces of art.
Peggy, welcome to Playtime.
All right.
All right.
But at guilds and conferences nationwide, she shares her techniques with others, teaching them how to play children's games with fabric.
If you were actually on a sidewalk doing hopscotch, you would have 1 foot on the first background, 2 feet on the other opposite backgrounds, and then 1 foot again at the top background. The in-between is an unblock. An unblock is a four-sided figure where nothing is equal. There are no right angles, and every single time that you stitch, you would take it to the iron and press aggressively. And who is our friend?
The iron.
And we press toward?
The unblock.
You got it.
Once the first three-part component is stitched, Diane adds the bottom piece by making a wallpaper cut.
Cutting through both pieces of fabric at the same time. Getting rid of the little pieces, and we are now ready to stitch those together. What do you think, ladies? Stunning! We have just played hopscotch.
Brimming with ideas and surrounded by support, quilters experience the joy of stretching their imaginations in Diane's innovative workshops.
I've found a freedom, I think, in quilting from being around her.
Whether she's teaching quilting games, planning quilt tops, or quilting stone steps, Diane Heyer brings a childlike sense of play to all her creations, and she sees no end in sight.
I don't have a choice but to do this. I am compelled to quilt. I am compelled to create. It's in my heart. Designing is in my heart.